Hey guys, Luetin here, and today I'm going to be talking about the whole PS3 versus PC deal for the Battlefield 4 beta and Battlefield 4. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me, wanting me to do this video. I plan to do it anyway because I think there's quite a few interesting talking points around this topic. Now, for me as well, I have never quite been of the same opinion as a lot of people when it comes to the whole console PC deal. For me personally, I think there's a lot of things that are way more important than many of the regular issues that come up, and that definitely goes into my opinion about how these have played out. Now, I did play the beta also on the PS3. I have played quite a few games with some friends, and okay, well let's just get straight into it. When I first got into the game on the console, I mean, obviously I'd played a fair bit on the PC, and also I got to play on the Xbox One at Eurogamer. So I had some, experiences there about how it was, how it played out, how it looked. When I got onto the PS3 version, literally the first thing I thought was, Jesus Christ, it looks so bad. We're talking like flat vector color, there's no textures, it's just like, what the crap, there's just like, it just looked awful. But put a pin in that, if you will, put a pin in that big thing. Now, here's the thing, right? You guys may remember a little while back, and I'll put this in the notes, okay? I made a video very recently where I said I went back to the PS3, because as you know, I got a PC, I've been playing on the PC, etc. And also, just to sidetrack here, just go into another question. So many people ask me constantly, what format am I going to play for Battlefield 4? Well, look, okay, I don't have a PS4 right now. I don't have a PS4 pre-ordered right now because I know even if I pre-order right now, I still won't get one for months. It's just because it wasn't on my immediate agenda at the time. And the thing is, having shelled out for my PC, which I invested a lot in, okay, you have to then go look, okay, do I have the money available to suddenly buy a PS4, etc.? No. It is on my to-do list though, okay? Come the new year, I fully intend to get a PS4. So here's the answer to the question, okay? Yeah, I will be playing Battlefield 4 on the PC. Obviously, that's so obvious. I will be doing that, and it's great, it's very, very enjoyable. But am I going to play it on the PS4 as well? I really hope that I will, because I have a lot of friends there. In fact, several people posted on some videos a little in the last week or so saying, oh, Luetin, now you've moved to PC, you're just going to ditch your friends on the PlayStation? No, it's that's a horrible thing, and actually, the deal with gaming is very, very interesting. I've been gaming for a long time now, a long time, and there have been many people that I've had these amazing relationships with when I've been gaming, whether it be in World of Warcraft or Call of Duty or any of these things. And you can have some fantastic experiences with people that you play in games, but people will go by. Okay, it's just the way of things. Some things change, some things stay the same. It's just the way it goes. And I've actually spoken to the guys on PS3 in the last week or so as well, the guys I super enjoy playing with, and I've said to them, look, okay, we're going to play together probably in the next year or so, but I need some time to get the PS4, etc. So anyway, let's bring it back, okay, back to what we're talking about with the console deal. So, on the console, it's exactly the same, funnily enough, as when I went back to the PS3 recently, okay? It was when I first stepped back into the game, I was like, Christ, look at this, man. It sort of knocked you back and you thought, wow, can I actually get to grips with this game? It's funny how it kind of has this sort of immediate knockback effect and you go, whoa. But then it kind of passes by, especially I think if you're a PC player pure, then you kind of come into it and it takes longer to adjust. But having played on console for so long for me, you kind of warm back up, you warm into it and you kind of go, it's not that bad. But here's the key thing, okay? It's much more about who you're playing with and kind of how you get on with it than the graphics and to an extent even the gameplay. It's always more about who you're playing with. And that makes me think of so many experiences I've had in the past with friends and just people that I've played with. It's about the game experience, not just the technicalities. And that's why I get so frustrated when I hear people, how I hate when people get hung up on technicalities and they're like, I think you'll find it's actually got an it's got an STE or it's .246 whatever. Seriously, I so don't care. It's really got to be like the most irrelevant crap. It really doesn't even matter. That's not what it's about. It's another reason why when you get into weapons and things, I'm not a big stat person, because I think, like, you know, there's a finite sort of amount where that stuff actually matters, and what matters much more is whether you're coming up behind the guy and putting the gun to the back of his head, you know. That's the kind of thing that matters more, is where you are. But anyway, so when it comes down to the PS3, what I'm trying to say here in kind of rounding all this stuff together is that there's more to the games than just the technical differences between the two things. And for me, when I got on the PS3, like I say, immediately I didn't have this great effect. But then when I actually started to play out the game, I actually was like, hey, this is alright. This is fine. What's all the fuss about? I actually was like, because I'd been hearing bad stuff all week long about it, and I've been thinking, oh man, this sounds real bad, like, God, I hope it's not like too shockingly bad. And I got onto it, and as I say, like, give it like 15-20 minutes, I was actually like having a good time, a lot of fun, and the guys were on there and we were chatting, and like, oh, they're coming at us from here, let's get over there, blah blah blah. And you know, yeah, good fun. I had like, I didn't have a bad experience, really. I had a lot of fun in every game that I played. It was really, really awesome. Although it's got to be said, I seem to have had a better experience than a lot of people when it comes to the beta. I think I've been very lucky because I know a lot of people have had bad experiences. For me, it's been all good. So, you know, maybe I've just been very lucky. But I will say there's, you know, because I try to be objective. Definitely there are some negative things. If the graphics matter that much to you, yeah, they're bad, they suck. But I mean, it's the PS3, and you know, this game has been advanced forward from where it was for Battlefield 3, so it's obvious that there's going to be a massive graphical difference, okay? But as I say, this is something else I would say. If you are a console player on the Xbox or the PS3, don't worry, okay, because I have played it on the Xbox One, and we have seen also graphics. We didn't get to play, but I've seen graphics from the PlayStation 4 when I was at Eurogamer and stuff like that. They're so good, seriously, and with all the other capabilities it's going to have available when it comes to the kind of gameplay, provided you are sort of planning to make that step up, be it now or in the new year. I mean, if you haven't got a pre-order for a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, but you definitely are probably going to in the new year, again, it's not that long, really, you know, it's only a couple of months, and let's face it, there's plenty of other games, as well as a bit of, you know, if you're still going to get Battlefield 4 to still play on those consoles, it's not unenjoyable, it's just that it, you know, you won't get the full experience until you know, move up there. And also, let's face it, let's look in the big, you know, the big scheme of things, okay? How long are you likely to be playing Battlefield 4 for? Or how long have you been playing Battlefield 3? A couple of years? So really, what difference does a few months make before you pick it up for the, you know, like the next step up, as it were? So, you know, really, I struggle to see what the massive fuss is all about. I think some people are getting way too hung up on many little technicalities. I will say one thing that is a big deal, and I do feel people on this, is the fact that they've changed up some of the controls when it comes to, for example, vehicle movement and other bits and pieces like that on the PlayStation, and I expect it's the same with the Xbox as well. And yeah, I do feel people on that. It feels a bit weird. I don't really understand why they felt the need to do that, because it worked perfectly well. Maybe with enough feedback and criticism, they maybe will, you know, maybe they'll put in an option, you know, because right now there's only certain options you can switch to in terms of your control layout, so maybe they will actually make that choice, and you know, they'll add in a new one. I can totally see that being plausible. I don't see why that wouldn't be an option. So I think if enough people give good, objective, critical feedback and say, hey, look, you know, DICE, please, this is something we really want, I feel that they will listen. And you know, I will try and give feedback. There's several people that I have good contact with, so I will sort of pass that message along and say, look guys, a lot of people are asking about this. Would it be too much to just put in an extra kind of, you know, control option to give that kind of back to Battlefield 3 sort of control setup? I'm going to try and do that this week. I'm going to try and send some messages through, contact people and say, this is something that people are, you know, I'm sure you guys know this is something people are talking about a lot. I'm just trying to help push that message through. So I'm definitely going to do that. And I guess something else that needs to be mentioned is, of course, the player count for the consoles. It's again obviously much lower than it is on the PC right now, but again with those next gen consoles it will be more. But for right now in the beta, how did I find the player count? Well, again, it was smaller. They did obviously have the smaller map available for the consoles, but again, this is nothing new. If you're used to playing these kind of games on the console, as I have been as well, then you get used to those different player counts. And like I've said in the past, for sure, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, for all the people laud about playing 64-player games, there are many situations where that stuff just doesn't work out to the best. There are times when it does work out really well, but sometimes it just doesn't. Similarly, with the console, there's times when having 24 actually works really well. Really great, intense gameplay. Sometimes, though, the map's a bit too big and it's a ghost town. And you know, I've been quite critical in the past about Conquest on the consoles and how it's sometimes, if the map is just a little bit too big, it can be a total ghost town. Unless you, for example, have, maybe sort of 2 teams of 5 or something fighting it out around one base, but then the rest of the map is empty while you're doing that, so it can be really interesting, but overall, again, my experience, yes, there was times where things were a little bit quiet, but I've got to tell you, there's times where even now when I play on the PC, even on 64 player, where there's times when bases are very quiet. I'll maybe take a jet ski over to the A capping base, alright, I get there, I maybe only have 1 guy, 2 guys to contend with, and maybe I just walk over that and then I roll to B, same deal, maybe 1 guy, 2 guys cap it. I mean, you would be surprised that on the PC, even on a 64-player game, I've managed to kind of wander around the whole map and barely encounter anybody because they're all sort of fighting, there's maybe a load of guys up in the building, and let's not forget as well, the bloody goddamn rooftop campers, there's so many people up on that roof that you can actually be around on the ground and struggle to find anyone to fight. So, there's always pros and cons. So really, just to wrap things up, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to come to these kind of conclusions, but it really, the comparison between how the console version is playing out against PC or even towards the next gen consoles, it depends entirely what you want to get out of it. And let's not forget the fact that there's going to be many people who simply just don't have a choice, and I don't want those kind of people to feel like they have no option of having an enjoyable experience at all. It's just not the case. I mean, it's very easy to be ultra negative about these things. And like I say, let's not lie or sort of make any facade about it. The PlayStation 3 version that I played, so that the console version that I played, it doesn't look good. Okay, it really doesn't. There's some sections where they have got like no textures whatsoever and all of this kind of stuff. Now again, I don't know how much of that is going to be pushed forward when it actually releases, but honestly, for someone that's played on the console for a long time, it really falls low on my list of things that are important when I'm playing the game. It really does, because there's things that are way more important, like the people that you're playing with. Do you enjoy playing with them? What kind of interesting gameplay options can you create for yourself? What kind of interesting attack movements and things can you create, like where you're moving to? Can you outplay your enemy? There's so many other ways that you can play the game that make it interesting, so many other ways that are actually more important, that are more of a priority for you as a player than just how the game looks. And I guess that's the message, the real message that I want to bring back to people today, that I want to sort of reaffirm and say to people, is that there are things that are more important than just technicalities in gaming. There really are. There's more important things than how high performing something is, how good something looks. There is way more importance there. And actually, to bring in something from Eurogamer that I think is very relevant right here, is that, I went around all those halls and we saw those games, people were having a great time. Do you know where I saw people having the most fun at Eurogamer? It wasn't at the Battlefield 4 stand, it wasn't at the Titanfall stand, it wasn't at COD Ghosts or any of the other great games that were there. Do you know where I saw the most people having the most fun? It was in the retro booth, crowded round a 24-inch TV playing GoldenEye 4-player on the N64. That's where I saw people having the most fun. Seriously, they were laughing their heads off. There were 4 guys sat together. They were like punching each other if they got killed. They were having a riot of a laughing time. They were having so much fun playing that game. And they were looking at a 4-player split screen N64 ultra pixelated blurred out graphics. And that kind of, for me, highlighted it. And I think that's what you should try and take away and keep in mind. There is more important things than technicalities, and with the console version that I played of Battlefield 4 Beta, I had a really fun time. I didn't come away thinking, man, this game sucks, oh man, I can't possibly play that again. I played it and I thought, I came away thinking, oh, it was great to play with the guys again. I had so much fun, really good games there. We didn't win every single game, but I had a great time playing with the guys. That was my experience for the PS3. That was my experience for the Battlefield 4 Beta on console. And as I say, I think console players should feel confident that with the next gen consoles, like I say, I've seen it on the Xbox One, looks fantastic, guys, really looks fantastic. So you couple that with the fact that you're also going to have 64 player, coupled with the fact that the game is going to be amazing, the way all the new things that they brought in, the way it plays out, and then all the great experiences that you will have with your friends and people that you play with, then honestly, I really think that you will have a very comparable experience to those people playing on PCs. I think that the lines have been, very much blurred, and I also would say that I really feel all these detractors and people that are sort of constantly nitpicking over technical specs and stuff like this, it's irrelevant. It really is. I think that's not where the heart of gaming lies. I think it's not what is the most important thing. So thanks for watching today, guys. I hope this has been insightful. I hope it's been helpful, and I hope for you console guys it'll maybe pick you up a little bit, because I know that often there's a lot of negativity flying around, and I'm trying to give you, this is my total honest opinion. This is exactly what I think. This is what I've been mulling over this week in my head, thinking, and sort of looking back and sort of analysing and just, blowing things around. This is where I've come to. This is what I think. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, drop it a like. Much more Battlefield 4 on the way.